There's something else that the media hasn't talked to you about, and it is truly remarkable. This is a milestone in human history. What's happening right now will be recorded in history. It will be discussed, and you won't even know it happened because our media is so out of control. There was something a few weeks ago that came out on Italy. It came out on a website that I read quite often. It's a great website called zerohedge.com. I don't agree with everything on this website, but they are ahead and they understand what's going on. You got to be pretty much of a geek to read it, I think, because it's some pretty heady stuff that I don't even understand a lot of it. But it shows now why Italy is rapidly heading towards fascism. Did I just say that? Yes. Their brand of newly unelected technocratic government should be kind of a red flag or a black flag as Italy is concerned. For a moment here, we're just going to talk about Italy. But I want you to I want you to see the warning signs here. We're talking about a country that is famous for its laid-back, slow-moving lifestyle. People work like 10 minutes every year. You know what I mean? They don't get things done overnight in Italy. But that's exactly what happened during 4 days this past November when the Prime Minister stepped down. He was abruptly replaced by unelected technocrats. Now, if you don't know what a technocrat is, you need to know what technocracy is. Technocracy is, quote, a form of government in which science would be in control of all decisions. If this doesn't sound like the 1800s, early turn of the century bullcrap, well, science is going to do it. Bullcrap. Science is going to do it. If you want to know what it is, I urge you to read one of the worst books I've ever read in my life. It's a horrible, horrible novel. Philip Drew, Administrator. It's what's happening in the world. It was Woodrow Wilson's favorite book. Awful. Written by Colonel Edward House, I believe. Scientists, engineers, anyone who is in a technological field will replace politicians, businessmen, and economists. Well, gee, now wait a minute. That's not happening, is it? Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it is. All these new pieces of the administration. Who's making the decisions on the environment? Are politicians? No. Faceless bureaucrats. Technocracy. That's what it is. These leaders are selected by a bureaucratic process rather than a democratic election. It's what Cass Sunstein is all about. It's what the president is doing by bypassing Congress and appointing people to run things. It's the Fed. The Fed is making decisions. You're not even involved. Now, I don't know about you, but all of that sounds about as appealing as a Helen Thomas sex tape, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, that's exactly what happened in Italy. I mean, not the Helen Thomas sex tape. That didn't happen, thank goodness. But Berlusconi was ran out. Technocrats were appointed. How long did it take them to appoint these guys? Remember, we're talking Italy, where he's like, relax. We got next year and the year after and the decade after that. 4 days. 4 days. They took the prime minister out and replaced him with a technocrat. And the world remained silent. So, let me give you a little perspective on 4 days here. This is the White House Christmas tree. Ready? The White House Christmas tree. How long did it take for them to set this up? It took the White House staff 4 days to put the tree up. So in the time that it took to decorate Obama's Christmas tree, Italy fundamentally transformed its government, got rid of its prime minister, and put in a whole new system. And the world said nothing. So now who is the head of Italy's new government? Well, it's this guy. You're going to love this guy. This guy. He looks like a nice guy, huh? Nobody voted for him, but he looks like a nice guy. He's a university professor. Oh, so he's an expert. He's also the former head of the EU Internal Market Commission. He's the guy who fined Microsoft for, quote, I think he said, getting too big for their boots. Well, I want to get to know him, so I start always with what my mom said. My mom always said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Okay, so let's look at his friends. His friends include Professor, this guy, Romano Prodi. Love him. He's great. He bases himself in a heavily communist university there in Italy. He's also the guy who created the euro. in the pocket of Goldman Sachs. He's also friends with this guy, Mario Draghi. This is the guy who booted Berlusconi out just days after taking the top spot at the European Central Bank. So this guy becomes like the head of their Fed, and he kicks the prime minister out. He also believes in the state over the individual. Okay, so let's go back to Romano. Mr. Romano Prodi, huh? He's the guy who created the euro. Why do I bring this up? Well, kind of important, because he said this in 2001, quote, "I am sure the euro will oblige us to introduce a new set of economic policy instruments. It's politically impossible to propose that now, but someday there will be a new crisis and new instruments will be created." Oh, well, gosh, welcome to someday. Rahm Emanuel told, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." This is a global mantra. They have been waiting for this. They have been designing this. That's why it only took 4 days in Italy to install an unelected government. They already knew what they wanted. They already knew what they were going to do. And all the people were in place. They just had to turn the key with a crisis. They're just waiting for the iron to get hot. Gee, that sounds like, remember the Fabian socialist window? Yeah, you heat up the world. Right there, see there are the billows. They're heating up the world until it gets nice and hot, and then they pound it. They mold it closer to their heart's desire. Huh. What a weird coincidence. I'm sure it's all a conspiracy theory. Believe what you want. The facts are here. It's happening right now. Now people in Italy are so desperate, they're willing to beg a strongman to come in and fix it, but he's not coming in as a strongman. He's just an administrator. He's a technocrat. He'll just make it go away. Now, you'd think in all countries of the world, Italy would be one of them that wouldn't go down this path again, but here we are. And the scariest part, they are now starting to board up the exits. I will show you what they're doing in Italy and how it is coming here in America. Next.